Okay, welcome everybody to some European action. I'm joined by the man in this game, Nathan Blewitt. Welcome, Nathan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. This is a pre-recorded match between you and Paxson Panganiban.
Yeah.
You're at the bottom of the screen, and looks like is this a brew or is this the standard cover?
Because I'm so far out of the finals going into this week, I just went, no, screw it, I'm just playing all brews. So this is a basically a Constrictor deck, so green-black Constrictor, but I'm using Marionette as the win con instead of trying to beat down.
Yep. You can see here early, well, Servant's going to get you 2 energy, so I was going to say you're a bit short on energy there, but Ether Hub is fixed with the Servant. Just to put this match in context, the European division is kind of split in two. There's a bottom 4 and then daylight to the top 4, where Paxson is playing here still with an outside chance of playing finals. So he entered this match with everything to play for, but it looks like you've got a pretty aggressive start going on here.
Yeah, my game 1 ended up playing out pretty well, as you'll see, but it kind of fell off in the end.
So, was this something that you had tested with?
Yeah, all of my brews actually play tested quite a lot, and they were all working really, really well in the testing stages. But yeah.
But we'll see.
You'll see.
We'll see how they play out.
So don't.
So what was the idea behind this? Because Marionette Master's normally played with tokens, isn't it?
Yeah, you see, I've seen it popping up a lot in like an Esper tokens build or just a treasure build.
Yep.
Because you can just sack the treasures. So I've just done essentially the same thing, except with the Constrictor side of stuff. It allows me to access all the green buffs, so I can actually buffer before I sack my treasures.
And you can see here Paxson's he's in early trouble because of his missing land drops there.
Yeah, it just keeps missing them. Yeah, as soon as I wanted to go Marionette Master, I knew that Treasure Map was an auto-include along with Ballista because of the synergy.
Yep. Yes, there's 2 options here. You could use the Ballista to shoot down Merfolk Branchwalker to push through the 6. What are we doing here? Which looks like... Oh, you're going to push 3 instead.
Yeah. Push 3 through and maintain board presence.
Yeah, so he's got... because you can pump the Ballista next turn. He doesn't know about the Blossoming Defense, obviously. So this is going to put him to 8, which is actually 7 on board. So if he doesn't have a response here, it could be lethal. So again, these things are just kind of chump blockers. You tempted to fire off the Ballista here just so you can untap and have 2 Blossoming Defenses? No. I think I would have attacked with the creature there.
His is a 3/2, so he would have traded. I've basically just looked at my hand and go, okay, I could do my Marionette play next turn if I build up to it. So with the Winding Constrictor, Marionette actually comes in with 4 +1 counters instead of the normal 3.
Yep. Yeah, because you've got the treasures to sack, so that's lethal there. I'm very surprised he didn't trade then and just took the damage. You can see he's starting to recover now, up to 4 lands, but he's kind of awkward because we saw that 3 drop before, so he hasn't played any removal up to this point. And Metallic Mimic is a really bad draw at this stage of the game.
I'm not sure why I didn't play the 3 cost that he had, but yeah. I guess more bodies for blocking.
Yeah, a 3/3, but the problem with the 3/3 is you've got 2 3/3s, and he's shown in the last turn that he's not interested in trading. So here comes the Marionette Master. As you say, it's going to be it'll get the counters. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could you have tapped the creatures instead so that you could use the treasure on that turn?
I do. I'm still tapping creatures to buff it up and then sack all the...
Oh, I see. So yeah, I thought you had to use the treasure cove to sack the treasure.
No, because treasures have the ability tap, sack, add 1.
Yeah. So he's just dead on board now then?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So...
So I play the Marionette, he's power 4, resolve the buffs, he's a 9, whatever, and then I just tap, sack treasures to kill him. So game 1 was really good in my way, and then it all just goes downhill from here.
Yeah, I like that. It's I mean, I can't think of a way out of that. I guess disallow disallow the trigger is about the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, control would probably kick it in the face a bit, because you either counter the stuff while I'm trying to do it, or you just remove the stuff as I'm playing it.
Because the Marionette Master, it's is it a triggered ability or an activated ability?
I think it's triggered. It's triggered by whenever an artifact goes in your grave, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, so...
Or leaves the battlefield.
So you could play Sorceress Spyglass and name Treasure so that the treasures couldn't be sacked. Do you have any other ways besides treasures to activate it?
Yeah, Walking Ballista.
Yep.
The actual treasure map, eventually, just keeps getting more treasures. The Verdus Gearhulk's an artifact that comes in and then paints a target on its head because it's so big.
So
that's why it's an alternative win con.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I can just rely on a Constrictor deck that puts +1 counters on everything.
I think just a minor tapping point there. You could have tapped the Field of Ruin of the Swamp and kept Blossoming Defense up.
Yeah, I totally noticed that when I actually played it that way.
But you can see here he's had a bit of a different start to game 2 than what he did in game 1. So this is going to be pretty powerful. This Jade Light. Oh, he misses, unfortunately for him. Yeah,
explain to me after the games that because the first game I didn't understand what this deck was until he played the last Merfolk. I was like, oh, really? He's playing a Merfolk deck? Because it just looks like the 3-color value deck.
Mm.
And then, yeah, game 2, he whips out the Constrictor, and I'm like, oh, wow, it's a +1 synergies bloody Merfolk deck, which is it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I preface all my comments by directing you to the West Division standings, where I picked up 6 points all season for Standard. So I really have no idea. I've watched plenty of Standard, but it's not my forte. Yeah, I think there's that tapping again, not holding up Blossoming Defense.
No, because I was tapping out anyway.
Yeah, I always forget that Rishka can make other creatures tap.
Such a good card.
I thought it was something's burning. Yeah, so he doesn't have a lot of good attacks here. So the board at this stage is kind of stabilized for you, especially when you're looking at that Verdus Gearhulk there. The other issue you have though at this stage is you're down to 10 life, and I think Spire of Industry costs a life to tap for coloured, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd be taking away blockers if you don't want to take that damage. But look at that Jade Light, 6/5.
Yeah, 6/5 for 3. It's dirty. Yeah, Constrictor, and that is just wicked.
Yeah, so down to 7 game 2. I haven't actually seen a lot of removal out of either deck. Are you playing removal here?
I've got Fatal Pushes, and then I've got Vraska's Contempt in the board, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of removal.
Hope of Girapur. I think that's... I thought it would come out in sideboard. So here's this tapping the Gear Hulk. So you got to take punishment for that. What's wrong there? 5. Oh, okay. That stupid rule with the Ether Hub.
Yeah, the lands keep trying to tap it to.
I think
add green and it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, you've got to tap it last now. That change actually came in not too long ago with X-Mage. So down to 5. Essence Scatter, that's a blowout, so that's probably the game right there, I'd imagine. Although you can ambush something here, or you choose to concede. So on to game 3. Oh wait, no, you changed your mind. Oh, no, you changed it back. Okay, concede.
I definitely conceded. Yeah, the Hope of Gifnir is another Marionette trigger.
Oh, okay, yep. So did you change anything up for game 3 with the sideboard?
I don't really have a lot of answers for anything that he's got in my sideboard.
Yeah, because what I see with standard, it's, as you mentioned before, Fatal Push, Lightning Strikes and so on, but things like Verderous Gearhulk, if they get on the board, there's not a lot of answers around for them. And obviously Vraska's Contempt. I think anything that plays black plays that.
But yeah, outside of the basic removal package, that, like, within my colours, I haven't really got a whole lot of removal that I actually have access to. So, like, I've got Duress in the sideboard, I've got Vraska's Contempt, and I've got Fatal Push's main board. But then I'm banking on being able to get Walking Blisters, answering their removal with my Blossoming Defences, and just trying to play it out that way.
Yep. You can see the mistap there again with the Blossoming Defense by tapping the Blooming Marsh instead of the Spear of Industry.
Yeah, I think at this point it was because I hadn't seen any removal from him, so I wasn't really worried about. Yeah, that Shaper's Sanctuary turn 1 does some work.
That actually sees play in Eternal formats as well. So there's a Ballista, but unfortunately he's kind of... I mean, I suppose you could shoot down the Mistbinder as an option here to reduce the power of those other two.
Yeah, I'm kind of forced to, but it nets him 2 cards, so...
Oh, because the Sentries each time it does, so you're doing one damage twice.
So I do it I do 1 damage, he draws a card, I do another damage, he draws a card.
Yeah, that's...
And Ballista's my key removal here, so I just keep netting him cards.
I mean, the other option would have been to Blossoming Defense, to sucker him in, and then Blossoming Defense a Glint Sleeve Siphoner, to see if he wanted to trade for 2. What does the Inspiring Statuary do? Is that the one that untaps things?
No, it gives non-artifact spells improvise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can see the Explore, he found an Essence Scatter, which he's kept.
So it allows me to use my artifacts to actually ramp out my Marionette Master.
Archer's a good card for the long game. Excuse me.
Not even a long game. I can get value out of it in the mid game because of the treasure.
So yeah, again a minor tapping issue there, using the forest to hold up Blossoming Defense instead of Blooming Marsh. So you can't represent something like Fatal Push. So this is a race going on at the moment.
Yeah.
So 2-turn clock on your side, and I mean you've got a blocker there at the moment. So you would win this race. And you had a second blossoming defense. What did I miss there? Did you use it for something? Or am I imagining that?
No, the last game I had 2.
Oh, last game, okay. So Herald of Streams come down. So suddenly he's got a ton of blockers.
He's got a ton of unblockable creatures is the big thing.
Because Herald of Secret Streams gives anything with a counter on it unblockable.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually got lethal on board next turn. So you need to find a way to push 8 damage this turn. You can go 2 for 5. You actually have lethal.
I did.
You have lethal on board. You could get him here actually.
This is where I misplayed, and then
I think
afterwards I went, oh my god. If I hadn't have played him for the full cost, I could have played him for 2 less. I could have pinged his creature, swung him with my things, buffed with blossoming defense, and then removed the other counters from the blisters, and I had him dead. But
yeah, or the existing.
That's not how I did it.
The existing ballista could have removed the Jade Bearer, so you couldn't block. You could push, and then blossoming defense would have been 7 damage, and then just played a ballista for 1, and then finished him off.
Yep.
Well, this is all. You can take notes for the next season. But I mean, from a learning perspective, do you get value out of watching it back and seeing these things?
Oh yeah, I watch back all my games, even games because like I've recorded quite a few where the recording might stuff up because I've had a lot of problems with the game bugging out. So I haven't posted those games because like midway through it just goes spastic, and then I spend 20 minutes trying to fix it. So like those games don't make it, but I always watch them back and see where I've stuffed up or how I could have done it better.
Yeah, I mean, my 2 cents worth, for if it's even worth that, from the big issue I've seen is just the tapping, and while it might be, see, there's a concession, so we're going to go to modern. While it might be, minor here and there, I think if you get into that good habit, it's going to. It's a good thing to improve on. I've just realised something that I've mucked up for the recording. Those I'll put this in when I post this as well. The very nice animations there is done by Nathan. I forgot to take my webcam off, so my face is jammed in the corner. For those things. So from now on, so when you judge later on, look from modern game 2 onwards, because I'm going to be able to clip that out. This is all learning. It's a video editing is the same as gameplay. I learn each time.
Yeah, so this is my it's Jace Tribal, but it's a mono blue turns shell.
Yep.
Which is another brew that I come up with, and it works. It worked so well in practice. I actually didn't lose a match. The games usually take quite a long time, but in this matchup against Jund, he just has so much hand hate, and I just hate Jund. I really do.
Yeah. Well, is he on Jund because he's played a Field of Ruin, which is it just straight up green black?
No, it's Jund Death Shadow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was going to say, surely if you're playing green black these days, you're splashing red for I forget the name now. Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah. I don't know if you watch any of GP Phoenix today, but they had a turns deck with Jace on there as well.
I'll be back in just 1 sec.
Yep.
back.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed of your video, which I'm going to have to go back and look at mine, you've lined it up perfectly so that you can see the phases on just to the left of the grey box. Like it looks very good.
It's because I'm so anal about how it looks. I keep going up at you whenever I see it. It's not sitting in the right spot.
Yeah. I recorded 2 matches today, and I'm going to have to go... I've only edited one. I've still got one more to edit. But I'm going to have to go back and have a look and see if mine lines up like that. Otherwise, I might have to play around with it. See, yeah, this is looking... we can't zoom in on the cards, obviously. What does Walk the Eons do?
It's take another turn after this one. But its buyback cost is sacrifice 3 islands.
Oh, okay, yep.
So he's hurting himself quite a lot here with all these Thought Seizers and like Pain Lands and Dark Confidant, but he's just gotten rid of all my answers or all of my like progression going into the game.
The Scar Stripe. That's not something we see every day. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've actually seen it quite a lot in the that matchup.
You mean the matchup today?
No, not the matchup today. So in the Jun deck, the Jun Shadows.
So what does this? What does it actually do?
It gives the... Oh, I'd have to look it up. What's his name? Viral.
And this is the classic whenever you play against Dark Confidant, it always just turns over lands for them. Yeah, I'm just looking
at Viral's ability let him play, or for the... I think it's Frenzy, I think that's the mechanic. So we'll go to game 2. So that's each creature in your graveyard has Scavenge. Scavenge is equal to the cost of the mana cost of the card. And then Scavenge is exile a creature card from your graveyard and pay its mana cost.
Ah, yes.
+1. Get number of +1 counters equal to that creature's power.
Yeah, I've actually recorded... I've seen Paxson play this before, actually. It's he gets a Death Shadow in the grave, and then he can scavenge it and put 13 counters onto his creature.
Yeah, +13 for 1. It is disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was super cool. I remember... you reminded me now. I remember when I saw it, and I thought, why is nobody playing that card? So he surgicaled you here.
Yeah, the Time Warp goes, which gets rid of all of my early extra turns.
Yeah, they were talking about this sort of the evolution of Jund on GP Phoenix today. They've actually cut down to only about 6 early discard spells, because you don't want to be hitting, say, a Thought Seize later in the game with Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah.
Or even Inquisition or Kozilek, even worse. So he can play out Dark Confidant pretty safely here when you're against mono blue. So you're pretty desperate for land drops at this stage. So you're binning the... Oh, yeah, I was going to say F9ing. You've got a Remand sitting there. And I suspect Collective Brutality is coming in.
Yeah, take it back to NCEP. There's a couple of times where I do the F9 thing, and then I don't quite get to cancel skip in time.
Yeah. Are you playing the normal exhaustion? What's the replicate? What's the one of replicate for 1? Geiger-Drouse. Are you playing those in this deck?
Which one's Geiger-Drouse?
Geiger-Drouse costs 1 blue, and it taps down a permanent. But you can replicate, so you can pay 1 more and just keep doing it again and again.
No, I haven't actually got that in here, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a nuisance because of the replicate, they have to counter it X number of times. You can't just counter 1. So it's quite an effective spell. Like, especially if you want to go off next turn, you just replicate on their turn, and even if they... The only card I'm aware of in Modern that can stop it is Counterflux, which doesn't see a lot of play. So you're tossing up here between minusing and plus. What are you looking for with the minus? You go for the
That's just
plus.
it. I don't see, because of my lack of lands, any useful cards that are going to be there aren't actually going to be fantastic. So I just keep going for the plus, just to try and maybe get the ultimate off. We'll see here another Thoughtseize. Just so much hand hate.
He might have had a couple of Thoughtseize in the sideboard as well, which he would bring in. But certainly Surgical would have been the first card coming in, I'd imagine. Here's Goif, so he's got a clock going now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's another player. I think it's off memory. Paul Reynolds plays turns quite a bit in the meta in our leagues. And I saw him the other day. He actually, I don't know. Do you know who Jeff Hoogland is?
I'm not sure if I commentated with you when Paul Reynolds was playing turns.
Maybe we did, because we've covered quite a few people. But he donated to Jeff Hoogland and got Jeff Hoogland to play his deck. So he got a bit of exposure for it the other day. It was quite interesting. But yeah, he's been playing it quite a fair bit. He unfortunately lost with it today. I don't know what his overall modern record is. For some reason this season in the leagues, people are very up and down between formats. So somebody that has it.
Yeah, I was doing really well in Standard and Legacy right up until about 3 weeks ago, and then everything just went downhill. I kind of crashed, but my modern performances have been like up and down the whole time. So it's like I win and then I lose and then I win and I lose. But a lot of close games for modern.
You can see him here aggressively going after the Mind Sculptor. Another Brutality is going to take that Water Veil. But I think you've got a potential here between two Jaces to start to go off next turn. Scavenging Ooze. So he's got the clock going. Wait, oh okay, that's a bit premature to... I think you want to bin that one. That's a bit premature. He cast Collective Brutality on his own Dark Confidant. Yeah, I think I would have got... I think you needed to find an extra turn at this stage. Yeah, 0 Jace.
Yeah, it's me dancing a fine line between trying to keep my Jaces alive and actually get in front.
Yeah, because so you've got the other Mind Sculptor, so I think from the last turn you know that he's going to go after... He's going to go after the Jace the Mind Sculptor next turn. So he's got one card left in hand. And he's going to be wary of Architect of Thought at 7 as well. So it's not a bad position to be in, but I think you need to play... Oh, there we go. Just as I say that, Jace is down.
Yeah, Liliana of the Veil just stops me, which sucked because I would have had 3 Jaces and it would have been fantastic.
Well, I think you've got... At this stage, I don't mind your position. I think you can almost go off next turn. Because Ascanta can potentially... flip as well, which would be land number 6. Although Scavenging Ooze is keeping you off that now. So he's going to push 6 damage here. So now you're left with an Architect of Thought. I think you can bin the Remand, yep. And transform. So you're up to 1 to 6 lands. You're going to draw a Mind Sculptor. I would have fired off minus Jace then, because I think you need to find an extra turn. And at that stage, I probably would have bounced the Tarmogoyf. Because as it stands right now, you're going to potentially lose both Jaces. Because you're going to get... If you minus Jace there, you're going to lose one of the cards anyway to Liliana discarding it. And here's the spicy tech.
We see the Virals again.
The Paxson signature card.
Me just double checking you didn't have a thing in there.
Yeah, so now he's like, I don't care about these Jaces. I don't even like that attack when you've got no cards in hand. I think I would have just made sure that I got at least Architect of Thought. Mind Sculptor off the board, but because you did next turn. But look at how many cards you have the potential to look at. You can just start going off with your extra turns right now. So you can miracle this, definitely. You can actually activate Ascanta to find another turn for your next turn, so you can start plussing Jason, maybe even win with the ultimate here.
Yeah, see her actually look at my own top card.
Yep, I like that. I think you got it. So you got about 6 cards you can look at between Architect of Thought and Ascanta. I probably would have activated Ascanta first because that would tell you if you need to plus or minus this Jace.
The minusing is no point because I'm already getting another turn. So it's until my next turn, the creature gets the plus. The creatures get the net.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So you've still got an activation of the Mind Sculptor here, don't you? Oh no, you plussed it on yourself.
Yes.
So you can actually you've got an activation of Ascanta. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Architect of Thought reveals 2, which is not very good here. Second Jace is not going to do much. I suspect he'll split it the 2 lands and the Jace, so I'd take the 2 lands.
No, I'd take the Jace.
I think there's no point because he's shown that he's not attacking Jace anymore. He attacked your face last turn, so at this stage your Jace is not dying. And the problem here is if you miss with the Ascanta, you don't have a second. Yes, you've missed with the hit. I don't think you made a land drop this turn. So Memory Adept.
It mills cards, but it doesn't actually do anything great for me.
Yeah, so maybe it's non-land card. I mean, you could go Snapcaster and then snap back a Time Warp. I don't mind Serum Visions here as well because do you have how many 5 mana extra turns do you have left?
There's just the Time Warps that are in there. I'm not sure. Did he surgical in this game?
Yeah, was it this game or the last game? I think it must have been the last game. Again, I don't like Serum Visions before the fetch. I mean, both of those are crap. I think you want to get rid of them anyway. So lucky there.
No, because I knew I had Snapcaster on top. So I draw the Snapcaster, and then it allows me to look at 2 cards and pitch them to the bottom.
But what happens if it was 2 that you wanted?
Well, then they can stay on top, and then I can draw them off Jace.
Okay, yep. Okay, there's your mastery. But you don't have 7 lands to play it though.
I've got 7 lands, including the one in hand. But I can't play it this turn.
Yeah, you can't play it this turn, so you're just dead on board. Oh, Cryptic. Wait, what are we looking at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can Snapcaster Cryptic tap down to buy a turn here. You could have put that Temporal Mastery back on top with Jace. so that you could miracle it. Yeah, I think that's the line you're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Snap Cryptic. Yeah. And one sort of cool play that you can do here that gets the Jun player most of the time is let him play his card and then snap Cryptic, tap down and bounce to Liliana with the Liliana activation on the stack.
Yeah, the problem with the Snapcaster is the Scavenger.
Oh, yeah.
So I did it on the off chance that he was going to misplay, and then he didn't. I'm pretty sure I just conceded after this.
Yeah. But I think the correct time to do it was with the Liliana activation on the stack. So you can, because at this stage, you also give him the option of minusing Liliana to remove the last blocker. Yeah, and then there he goes. Oh, you can't minus Liliana off 1. But you can only block 1, and there's 7 power there. So if he's got a creature in his grave that he can use Varolz with, then it's definitely game. But I think you could have bought an extra turn if you had put that Temporal Mastery back on top.
Yeah, looking back at it now, I'll definitely be doing that in the future.
So, yeah, he's out of cards. Just buffing that.
And that's lethal.
Yeah,
swings
7.
for 9.
Yep. Okay, wait. Let me get this thing quickly so that I can get rid of... I'm getting ready to get rid of my webcam this time, so you can look from Modern Game 2 onwards. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Jace. So it's still lethal, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, the Architect did so well that game. I was, like, really impressed with how that actually played. It stayed there the whole game. Did not die.
Yeah, that's nice when I do it properly. Oh.
Yeah, so the second game there, I was quite happy with how the deck actually performed. I just couldn't get it.
Oh, was that game 2? Okay, so we're on to Legacy now.
And this is another brew that I worked on, and that, unfortunately, got put up against the only thing I've found so far that kicks the absolute crap out of it. Oh, besides like turn 2 combo decks.
Tezzeret the Schema in Legacy.
Yeah. So what happens here is the Unwinding Clock. So it's essentially a Stasis deck, but I've also got Winter's Orb in there as well. So when if it's a Winter's Orb line that I'm going for, I have the Winter's Orb out, and then Unwinding Clock untaps my artifacts in my opponent's untap step, and I've got like 12 artifact lands in there.
Yeah.
So I untap all my lands, and they untap one of their lands.
So what does Stasis actually do?
Stasis makes players skip their untap step.
Oh, okay.
And then at the beginning of my upkeep, I have to pay 1 blue or bury Stasis.
Yeah.
So the play is you Tezzeret out, and then I can just +1 Tezzeret to create a treasure, and then I play Stasis, and then I can just keep +1ing Tezzeret to pay the 1 to keep Stasis out.
But yeah, you're a turn behind because of Thalia.
But yeah, Stasis and Tezzeret together completely stops anyone from having an untapped step ever. And then I just win off Black Vise. And then this happens, which is why I hate this deck.
Sanctum Prelate. He has to name a number, so what number does he name?
2.
Oh, so he must know a fair bit about what's going on then.
He saw the how. I actually asked him about it later. I'm like, why did you say 2? And he's like, I saw the Howling Mine. He just wanted me to stop he wanted to stop me from playing more Howling Mines. Is the only reason he went for 2. So completely locked out.
Yeah.
Because I fully had the lock, and he would have just died to Black Vise. It would have just grinded out, and he would have died to Vise.
So what does Black Vise do?
So Black Vise deals damage at the start of target opponent's upkeep. Black Vise deals damage to them for each card in excess of 4.
Oh, okay.
So if they've got 5 cards, they take 1. If they've got 6 cards, they take 2. If they've got 7 cards, they take 3.
You mean cards in hand? Yep.
Yeah, cards in hand. Yeah.
Yep.
So Howling Mine makes sure they've always got the 7 cards. Stasis stops them from being able to play their cards, and then Vise punishes them for it.
So you're playing Unwinding Clock, so you're going to be able to untap in his upkeep, but you just can't get your Stasis out there.
Yeah, I can't play Stasis at all. But it also stops my other plan, because Winter's Orb is also a 2-cost card as well. So that whole deck is just stuffed by the 1 card.
So you don't have a plan B.
Oh well, I need to play Tezzeret to actually minus him and then neg it to death.
The Sanctum Prelate?
Yeah. Yeah, because Tezzeret's second ability is -2, I think, and then target creature gets neg X, where X is the number of artifacts you control.
Oh, okay.
So I can nuke something for a lot when I actually get it out.
2, 3, 4. You can play it next turn. But you're taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. Yeah, he's just gonna have too much lethal damage. So I'm gonna get this ready again. I didn't quite get the timing right. It's gonna take a bit of practice there. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen today, certainly this deck has, potential. But, yeah, I don't know how often you're going to run into a Sanctum Prelate on 2 in your games, so you're probably a bit unlucky there as well.
Yeah, so if it's a deck like that, or if it's a reanimated deck and they name blue or black, then it kind of stops it. Or like a Show and Tell deck goes off turn 3, plays an Emrakul. Like...
Although I suppose you could also put Ensnaring Bridge in this deck quite easily as well.
It's in my sideboard.
Yeah. So he's still got lethal damage there. So I think... Oh no, because Propaganda's going to slow him down.
Yeah.
But those Sierra Avengers have... are vigilant, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So he can pay twice. Oh, he's not even going to... Oh, he's just going to do that.
You can just Flicker Wisp the Propaganda, yeah. I hate Flicker Wisp, I hate Death and Taxes, it's just a crap deck, I hate it.
So, yeah. So, concession coming.
Yeah.
I'm getting my finger ready here. Yep. Yep, you can look at Legacy Game 3. I think I did it pretty well there. Oh, Legacy Game 2, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, this game doesn't last very long at all.
So what does Winter Orb do?
As long as it's untapped, players only untap 1 land during their untapped state.
Yeah. I've run into this in EDH. I hate that card.
Mm.
So you were looking for you kept a risky 1-lander there. It's not too bad actually. I think I would have gone Black Vise, Howling Mine, and Academy Ruins so I could draw the Academy Ruins that turn, and play the land and then draw the Howling Mine the next turn.
Yeah, I can always stuff it up when I'm putting them back. I actually intended on grabbing the Academy Ruins. I always misplay that.
Well, Aetherfire's going to get around Stasis as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it does quite well. but because I'm like, oh, I want to keep my stasis, so I don't want to lose my force of will. And then he just kills my land, so that's the end of it.
In the ship. And so
thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll upload this now.